It's like the show would go off, be like, all right, we'll see you next week. It's like, tonight on 2020, the overstretched vagina. So my thing is like, and in the morning at 5 a.m., they went through several cartoons to fill the spot for that 5 to 6 a.m. First, they had Nick News a long time ago, and nobody gave a fuck about that. For what it's worth, it was worth nothing. After that, they had the Marvel Action Hour, right? Do you remember the Marvel Action Hour?
Yes, that was Spider-Man and the X-Men.
That is 184% wrong, Mike.
Oh, the Marvel Action Hour. Okay,
Yes.
I'm sorry. That was Iron Man and was it Fantastic Four?
Yes, it was, Mike. Yes. Oh, yeah, Mike. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No,
I thought
Mike.
you were talking about 90s Fox.
Yeah, but you redeemed. It's like, how could you go along and do something so dumb and then totally redeem yourself? That was you, Mike, right there. That was you. Oh, yeah. The cream rises to the top, brother. So.
I'm eventually going to guess my way out of everything that happens in life. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I can play the banjo with my feet, brother. So.
There hasn't been a situation that I can't accidentally get out of. Yeah.
Yeah, I murdered Miss Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
No, that's too much at one time.
Ugh, dude.
Too much of a toot.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Sometimes it's hard to sometimes you start getting savage. You just can't stop. One of the greatest things I remember about that.
Yeah,
Huh?
No, I was just going to say I'm savage as fuck. One of the greatest things that you remember, yes?
One of the greatest things that I remember, when they were switching those cartoons out, was a good experience. First was Iron Man. And this was not part of Fox Kids. This was just filler cartoons, but I'm glad they were there. And then, first of all, it was the 90s because they went through enough trouble to have Stan Lee speak before every episode, right? And it wasn't just some promo. He spoke about the episodes particularly, which is another reason why I love Stan Lee. God bless his old-ass soul. I'm going to be sad when he's gone. Honestly, I am.
Mm. I
remember him coming on the air and him being like, "Hello, true believers, and welcome to another episode today of the Iron Man." He's like, "I'm Iron Man." He's like, "Today, Iron Man comes face to face with one of his greatest fears, alcoholism." No, he didn't. He never said that. But he did say, he talked about Grey Gargoyle and Whirlwind decide to team up against our invincible hero. What will happen today? Let's find out together. Excelsior! And I'd be like, fuck yeah, whatever that means. And then we'd watch the show, dude, and the show was awesome. And then he'd talk about the Fantastic Four, and the Fantastic Four's intro was really overly eaten up with 90s synthesizer. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. The show was great. I don't know if you when you get a chance, look at it on YouTube, right? Probably the greatest 1 minute of your life you've ever wasted. And it was awesome. I mean, dude, the show was great, especially for 90s kids. I love watching the Fantastic Four. And then, so they stopped bringing on the Marvel Action Hour, and they started bringing the Marvel Action Hour on Sunday mornings for some reason. I don't know why. But during that time, they had to find something else to fill that spot. And for the first time ever, dude, it blew my fucking mind. I can still hear it today, dude. I remember it showing that huge flash across the screen and that one guy's voice who sounds like an 80s wrestler. He was like, "Get ready for Dragon Ball Z." And man, when I saw it for the first time, I had no idea what it was. It was still in the old translations of the show, the still dubbed version. And they only showed 2 episodes at a time. But dude, let me tell you, for the first time ever seeing that show, it was a great way to kick off Saturday morning, and the show kicked so much ass. And they only had so many episodes they could show before it kept starting over. They'd stop, right in the middle of the Frieza saga. And they'd start at the Raditz saga right there at the Frieza saga. But man, little did I know then it would become such a phenomenon like it is now,
Mm-hmm.
I had no fucking idea, bro, but that show was awesome. And, so that show came on, and then when the Fox Kids bumper started coming on, you see all the stuff, all the Fox Kids promos for the Power Rangers and Animaniacs and Pinky and the Brain. It was awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. One of my favorite shows was Animaniacs. Animaniacs was an awesome show, man. I know you're familiar with Animaniacs, man. If you're not, I don't know. You are, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right. Great show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Animaniacs is one of my favorites from high school.
Yeah.
Actually. Yeah.
See, and that's the cool thing about those shows, man, because Steven Spielberg, I believe, had a hand in most of those Warner Brothers cartoons. And the cool thing about them is they tried to make them appealing to everybody. That's when they put a lot of work into doing that. They tried to syndicate it for everybody, not just, they did it for everyone's minds. They had adult jokes, they had, jokes for kids. It was still silly and whimsical, but it was still like Animaniacs, they put a lot into it. Some episodes were not always funny. Some of them were, they had a lot of key points to them, man. Some of them made you like kind of emotional as a kid. They made you think. They don't have. I mean, really, they had a moral to them, but like you'd go from one cartoon with like Slappy Squirrel, and then you go to the next where it was like something kind of serious, man. I remember something in particular about a piece of wrapping paper, which you can actually YouTube. It was about a piece of wrapping. I don't know, like YouTube Animaniacs and wrapping paper, and the episode really had a moral behind it, man. Like they did a parody of A Beautiful Life from that Christmas show. Is that what it's called? A Beautiful Life? Not A Beautiful Life. It's a Wonderful Life. It's a Wonderful Life. Yeah, they did a whole thing there. Like Tiny Toons did the same thing. Tiny Toons is another great show, man. Like they snuck little things in Animaniacs that like would never get away with TV. I remember there was one special joke that was on Animaniacs that like even now I look at it, it's like on top five jokes that Animaniacs got away with on TV. This is always number one. So they actually are dressed up like Sherlock Holmes, and they're like, we should be checking for Prince. And all of a sudden Dot goes, okay. So she grabs Prince, like the actual singer. And she's got her, she's holding him like she's walking him over the threshold. She's like, all right, got it. And Yakko goes, no, I meant fingerprints. And Prince looked at the camera and smiled, and he goes, good night, everybody. Dude, as a kid, I had no idea what the hell they were talking about, bro. But like you catch that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Dude. Wow, that's all I get? Mike?
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. No, I totally get it.
What are you doing over there, Mike? What porn site are you on? Like, what the fuck?
How did you know?
I heard the ejaculation crackling in your voice, Mike. I know that sound well. All right, anyway. Next. I pitched my script for the sequel to Aragon. That's what it sounds like. Yeah, dude, but the show was awesome, man. Like it'll never be like that again, man. It was just a mixture of everything that was great. The Tick, dude, the Tick was more of an adult cartoon you could ever imagine. It was a complete parody of everything superhero, man. Everything. All superheroes were completely parodied and ripped off, and it was funny. I mean, the jokes were really clever. Goosebumps was a really good dude. There were episodes of Goosebumps that were really scary for kids, man, but it was great. Just like Are You Afraid of the Dark? I matched them up really closely. Some people really prefer Are You Afraid of the Dark? I prefer Goosebumps just because I think it was a less shitty Canadian TV show, but was still good. Good show. Go ahead. What are you gonna say?
The Tick was one of my favorites.
The Tick was fucking hilarious. Do you remember Do you remember the main villain on that show?
Who, Chairface Chippendale?
Yes, very good, bro. Do you remember the fact that
he carved his name on the
well, he didn't carve his name. He got halfway through.
Yeah, he got halfway through chair.
And I love the fact, dude, that they continued the continuity of that by every time they showed the moon in the show, they would show the Cha on the moon because he fucked up. And the show was so funny, man. There was actually one of the Tick's super friends. It was a chick named the American Maid, and she was actually dressed like a maid. You know what I'm saying? Like an actual maid, like with an apron and everything, but the apron had the American stars and stripes. But I think she was Latino. So it was a joke within a joke, and kids didn't understand that. There was the sewer urchin.
Yeah, he talked like Rain Man.
Yeah, he did. There was another kid. I forgot one of his name. He looked kind of like Batman. His name was something Mouse. I forgot his name. What was his name? I'll have to Google that.
Deflator Mouse.
Deflator Mouse. Yeah, he talked. They call him Deflator Mouse because he talked.
That's German for bat.
Yeah, but yeah, or is it Swahili? Anyway, he talked a lot of shit. Isn't that what it was? He talked a lot of shit, and when danger came, he left. Is that what it was?
Yeah, pretty much. He like whenever Dinosaur Neil struck, Hey,
Yeah, Dinosaur Neil, the guy who to fix him, all they needed was an aspirin, right?
Yep, big ass aspirin.
Yeah.
No, I remember the reporter talking to Deflator Mouse. You know, it's like we're talking to Deflator Mouse to see what the superhero community is going to do to defeat him. And they talk to Deflator Mouse. He's like, the superhero community is just going to sit this one out.
Yeah.
Right now, see what happens. Yeah. We're not going to jump on this one.
No, dude. Do you remember?
Right.
Do you remember? Do you remember Mr. Mental from the show?
I'm pretty sure I do. I want to say a helmet or something.
No, he was just some bald-headed dude. It was pretty great. Let's see, like the villains were. Let's see, Mr. Mental. That one dude who was supposed to be like Superman, but he was actually Clark Kent. Do you remember that? I don't know. The Bread Master. I don't know, dude. We could go deep into the Tick, but it's such an obscure show. I don't know. It was a great show though. But right after that, I always watched the Tick. I knew it was coming on after that. Life with Louie was a good show too. It was pretty funny. But X-Men and Spider-Man of the 90s, nothing beats those two shows, man. Nothing. Even now, I haven't seen an X-Men show. Like the X-Men movies that came out were good. Like the animated movies have been good, but like for my memory and just for nostalgic purposes, regardless, nothing beat the 90s X-Men cartoon. It was serious. It was full of action. It tackled real life issues. The characters were dead on. I have never seen anybody play a better Wolverine or voice him better than the guy that voiced Wolverine. Seriously. It was such...
Well, there's Hugh Jackman, but yeah.
Fuck you, Mike. Okay? Anyway. But seriously, like, nobody, I don't remember anybody's voice. He was so fucking, like, now everybody tries to mimic that voice. Like, oh, Charles, maybe we should help the kid, like X-Men Evolution, which was pretty decent, but still not nearly as good as the other. Bro, I mean, dude, it was so fucking gritty. Like, you never saw shit like that. I mean, like remember when Wolverine was pissed off that Morph died? Remember when Morph died in the cartoon? Do you remember that?
I don't think I don't remember that one.
Yeah,
that
dude,
doesn't ring a bell for me.
Well, he didn't die, but I mean, he was supposedly dead. He came back later, but Morph was it was a real crazy thing, dude. Like, that was back when, I mean, you didn't see a whole lot of deaths in cartoons outside of stuff like, like Transformers in the movie and Duke when he went into his coma, which he was supposed to have died, but they changed that at the last minute in G.I. Joe.
Yeah, that's because the Transformers beat him to the movie theaters.
Yeah, and they were like, well, we're not copying them. Nowadays, they would not even think twice about copying a movie now because it's all about money instead of having an actually good cartoon movie, But whatever. Anyhow, man, I really got off on that. But dude, X-Men was so great. And you remember that one scene whenever he was really pissed off that I was talking about, and he really cut the whole top part of Cyclops' car off? And Jean was like, "Stop it, Wolverine." He's like, "Look, tell Cyclops I made him a convertible."
Yes.
That was fucking awesome.
Yes, I remember that.
This is for you, Morph. Morph! This is for you, Morph. Morph. What the fuck is wrong with you? Laryngitis, Morph. Would you happen to have a lozenge, Morph? Perhaps some chloroseptic, Morph. I can deep throat like a champion, Morph. Gene! Morph.
He was always so hung up on Gene. What the fuck?
He's always been hung up on Gene, dude. Always.
Yeah, it's like statistically, he would accidentally meet another girl.
Yeah, well, no, he did. He did actually. In the comic, didn't he shack up with Storm eventually?
Oh yeah, eventually. No, he's shacked up with a few people. Mariko.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's Dawkins.
Wait,
mother.
Mariko, is this Lady Deathstrike?
No. No, Mariko is.
Oh, I'm thinking of Yuri. I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah, she was his lady love. Like, she was the one in Wolverine too.
Okay. Yes. Do you remember You remember Silver Fox?
Yeah.
Okay, Silver Fox and Maverick. Remember both of those? That was one of his hookups. You know.
Yeah, Silver Fox. Yeah.
Yeah. They actually did. They actually did a the cartoon actually did a I believe it was a 2-part series. No, it was one episode. Yeah, it was one episode where he, Sabretooth, Beast, and Maverick and Silver Fox all meet up in the lab in Canada where the Weapon X project was created. And they have to go through this entire... They find out that their whole memory was just a science project. They were fabricated memories, and then they have to fight this giant robot at the end. It was a good episode, man. I mean, they were really good. It was good. It was a good episode. Good serious episode that looks into the past of Wolverine. You know, once again, as a kid, when you see that, like, it really moves you. They wanted to move kids, you know? Unlike now when we're just going to be random and, you know, shit like that. But it was really some substance behind it. And so that was a good show. And Spider-Man was fucking... Spider-Man, of all the Marvel cartoons in the 90s, that was the best one to me.